the leg. Didn't get paid for the right hand, but then managed to upend her opponent. Several ways to skin a cat. Well, we move ahead. Women's 65 kilograms up next. And more medalists in action. Hergy Basiadam from Philippines against Wala Mossa from Egypt. Silver against bronze. Well, quite a difference in height here in favour of the girl from the Philippines. Much taller than her opponent.
And she just used that height to her advantage to get Mossa down. Nice side kick there from Mossa. Didn't score any points with that, and looks like perhaps red down first. Look for Basiadam to use her legs. I just saw her slip a roundhouse kick in there.
Well, it must be an obvious advantage with her striking distance being out of reach for the smaller opponent. Just keep her at bay.
Second time she's used it. Kick to the torso, an effective kick to the torso, earning you 2 points.
She's not risking being struck herself. She is risking, of course, someone, their opponent catching the leg. But she's not going to be hit.
Right. She hasn't seen Mossa do that the same way we just watched our Iranian fighter do that effectively.
It's the difference between a world champion and a bronze medalist, perhaps.
A nice push kick there from her. Loss of balance with Mossa.
Really having problems with this advantage that Basiadam has in reach, both in terms of hands and feet. Just can't find a way in.
Look at the speed on the hands of our Philippine fighter. Leading with the leg and then being able to throw a flurry of punches if she chooses to. So, and there's a nice spinning back fist from Mossa. Probably one of our first spinning back fists we've seen of the competition that landed quite nicely.
Came out of nowhere as well. Complete surprise for Basiadam.
So you hear her corner. That was a roundhouse kick to the face. You hear her corner trying to egg Mossa on to get more techniques out of it. But Philippine fighter had built up a strong lead there. It's hard to mount a comeback.
She can take that with her into the next round.
There's that back fist.
The last quarter of that round. Mossa. She did actually get some joy. What sparked that slight revival off was that complete surprise. That backhand.
ارمي ايدك اللي بتعمليها دي واطلعي برجلك وامشي. تبداي بايه دلوقتي؟ تشوطي 4 وتشوطي ايدك. خلاص؟
Basiadam wants to avoid now. Here's Mossa starting strongly. Already has a bit of a confidence boost.
She has every reason to believe she can take the fight to Mossa. But Mossa's a scrappy fighter. We see a lot of both women fighting out of the clinch, which is a good sign for the fight. That right leg of Hergy from Philippines is a great lead technique. Mosa has a little farther to go because of the reach of her opponent, but she's willing to mix it up and get inside to fight. As an example of how strong Hergy is holding her balance, even though an opponent grabbed her leg. A nice right hook.
Oh, nearly caught her again with a follow-up.
We would do well to watch her hands. We haven't seen a lot of them, but clearly there's another gear for her hands. We've seen her use her leg effectively, but
and there's the right hand again. Doesn't find the target, but you can see there's potential there. It's not just the smaller fighter who finds difficulty. Such a height difference can be difficult for the bigger fighter as well.
Look at that.
There's the hand speed you were talking about. That's combination.
That followed another sound spinning back fist from Mosa, but that's one technique compared to multiple. So we see with a Philippine fighter mounting points after points. In a fairly active fight, we're down to the last 13 seconds, but she's been able to weave enough points together that Mosa just hasn't been able to get ahead.
Trying desperately to get herself back into this, but unfortunately she's run out of time and options. And in the end,
double point digits for Hergy.
Pretty comfortable victory for Hergy Basiadan from the Philippines. And that was a semi-final, so she's through to the last hurdle, the final. A gold medal will be at stake. It'll be interesting to see her up against a fighter more her size. A lot of those hand shots going over the head of Hergy.